Seated with me is Alan Sabet, CEO of Mogotes Metals, a copper gold explorer that's positioned right next to maybe one of the biggest deals of the year. The Filo Solar project sits directly adjacent to Filo del Sol, which BHP and Lundin acquired for $4.5 billion earlier in January. Now, with multiple untested targets and new optioned claims that extend the mineral trend, Mogotes is aiming to prove that they're sitting on what could be another major discovery in Argentina's Vicuña district. So, Alice.
Yeah.
Your Filo Solar project has multiple exploration targets with names like Los Mogotes and Meseta.
Yeah.
Help our audience understand what you're seeing on the ground and what gives you confidence that it could host significant copper gold mineralization.
Sure. Let's take a step back. It's a district, and this kind of mineralization, copper porphyry mineralization, typically occur in clusters. Okay, so not just one. Where there's one, there's others, and that's what we've seen with the Vicuña district. So our neighbors, Filo del Sol, very large deposit, the biggest actually copper discovery of the last 30 years. And then, a few kilometers away from them, you've got Lunahuasi, also a very, very large copper discovery, copper porphyry discovery, as well as high sulfidation. So as I said, they occur in clusters and in a trend. And in this case, the trend runs north to south. So you got north Lunahuasi, Filo del Sol, and we're south. So these things occur in clusters. So there's every reason to expect that there'll be more of them. But aside from just, the clustering of these, we've got alteration, we've got soil geochemistry, rock geochemistry, and we've got geophysics. We've got a number of different layers of data. We've meticulously gathered this information over the last 3 years of work, spent about $20 million. You and I have spoken many times. And as we've progressed the company, these data sets have created for us a number of targets. They all have different names, Los Mogotes, Meseta. We have about 10 of them. So the names are not so important. What's important is they're underpinned by significant work by some of the best geoscientists that are in the business, and they're located on trend to the biggest copper discovery of the last 30 years. So the proximity isn't just proximity, it also increases probability, and the work that we've done also gives us confidence. And that work is, tremendous data sets. I'm going from here to Argentina to kind of finalize the drilling campaign that we're doing and look through all that data again with a fine-tooth comb to finalize our drill targets.
You've also optioned new claims that you say have a complete target picture.
Yeah.
Can you explain what that means for us and why extending your land position at this time is significant?
Yeah, it happened earlier this year in January. So, it's going to draw with my hands a little bit, but we had Filo del Sol, and we have the extension of that. And a little bit of that picture was in Chile, and we didn't have the control of that claim package. So, I'd been working on that for roughly 2 years with the Chilean iron ore company, and we finally came to terms where, we now secured the option over it. And very shortly after that, we got on the ground, started doing geophysics, started doing mapping, sampling, and that yielded 3 new targets that were really quite exciting. I'll spare you the details on why, but they're large-scale targets, which we think are very attractive targets, both high-level, high sulfidation, precious metals targets, and porphyry copper targets. So why was it important? Because it secured the rest of the trend. The trend runs north to south, but also it's prospective, exploration ground. It increases our chances of finding something, and the market has also seen it as valuable. And the work that we've done since then, when we last spoke, probably our share price was 15 cents. It's now 30 cents, roughly. Yeah.
Well, you've also, touched on this already, but when's that next exploration campaign slated to start?
Yeah.
Talk to us about, the targets you're focused on, and also, how much cash you have to fund that.
Okay, yeah. We're in the Southern Hemisphere in Argentina, and in the winter, it's too cold to work there cost effectively. So we work in the summer. The summer months in Argentina start around October and sometimes later, depending on the snow. So that's when we're going to start our drilling campaign, our exploration campaign. So let's say mid-October, and if there's seasonal conditions that delay us, maybe November. It runs through to May of the next year. So that's the kind of time frame. We're deliberating now on the specific program design, which we'll announce when we're ready. But cash-wise, we're well-funded. We have about 25 million Canadian dollars in the bank today, and we're able to secure some very important investment, including from the Braun family, which we closed. The Braun family is one of the better-known business families in Argentina. So they invested a significant amount, and one of their representatives joined the board via their affiliated entities they invested. So yeah, so we're well funded, and we're excited to go in now. In the 3 years of work we've been working here, and now we're finally going to get in there and start drilling some targets.
Beyond the, media people like me, we talk about junior mining stories all the time.
Yeah.
It feels like mainstream media is picking up on the copper story because of the need for it with data centers, electric vehicles, what have you.
Yeah.
How does Mogotes fit into that bigger copper story?
There's two stories we fit in, which is really great. Filo del Sol is like a 50-50 copper and gold. And the mineralization that we've encountered to date in our project, Filo Sur, also is copper and gold. And so we're riding that thematic of copper, which is, very strong demand and very limited supply. And its most extreme point is our neighbor, because our neighbor, in 30 years of looking, all the big mining companies, all the junior mining companies, which number in the thousands, looking for copper around the world, 30 years, the biggest thing that's ever been found is sitting right next door to us. Okay, so those, mining companies, big trading companies, big private equity funds, whoever's looking for copper, they know it's often found in a district that's well endowed. So it's brought a lot of spotlight to us. We're one of the better exposures, I'd say, to copper exploration. On the gold side, with the gold price flying to $3,500 an ounce, just adds an extra layer of interest. And now gold companies, are attracted as well. So we've got the benefit of both categories uplift from the market.
Well, last question before you go. Why you and your team with this discovery in your hands?
Why do we have this discovery in our hands?
No, meaning why you and why your exploration team to, make this potential kind of become realized?
Well, I think we've shown, first of all, we've attracted some of the best talent in the industry. I'm not speaking of myself, but the technical people that we've been involved from the very beginning. We devised a very systematic, methodical campaign to create opportunities for us to discover. And so all of this data and work that we've done was a very deliberate program. And, it's been applauded by a lot of the big mining companies we've been speaking to. They've been quite impressed with our work. And on the capital market side, we've systematically funded, brought this thing public. And so I think we've combined the best of capital markets and technical in this company. The other thing is, fortune favors the bold. We were able to be aggressive in consolidating this land package and in really taking the risk to explore here, spending a lot of money to see, when you run a geophysical campaign, it is possible that you're not, the results are not so compelling. In our case, they were, and that's a little bit of a risk. So we were able to take the risk, but calculated risk, moderated by a very strong technical program and backed by significant capital markets kind of interest from financiers, funds, institutional investors. That took a lot of time and hard work to put together. So I think we've done it for the last 3 years, and every year, if you looked at us, year 1, year 2, year 3, you're seeing significant progress. And, I hope we'll be able to continue to do that. To some degree, it's not up to us. When we drill, we'll see what happens. But those of you who have followed our story from the beginning would know every time we come back, there's more. And I hope we can continue to do it.
And with the drill program, it's coming up in October. Can we also talk about when you expect to kind of update the market with results?
Yeah, it's a little bit difficult to say because it's conditional on lab timelines. I'll say to the late, towards the December side of, the year, and then rolling into January potentially. And then from there, regular reporting as we get the results from the drill campaign and the other exploration we're going to be doing.
So we'll keep watching.
Definitely. And to state this again for the record, there's probably no better time to be involved with us because we've taken all those steps now in the past, and then going forward, this is the exciting part. So I try to get as much awareness as possible.
Well, good to see you here to do that.
Thank you.
So that's Alan Sabet, CEO of Mogotes Metals, MOG on the Venture Exchange. Thanks for watching.